the flooding.
This shop water of Semo, everything spoil. Not got the property. Everything spoil last year. That's the first day when water enter our house. But it will be like it will be in the streets like this, then in compound. But last year he enter all our room, everybody enter. We are begging government that it should help us, because the time where I come this area, it no be like this. But the time we can't do that, TT our for us work at all.
The major problem we have is erosion. To tell you the fact, you do enter my sitting room. You will enter my sitting room, enter the kitchen, pull out the fridge. Why you pull out the fridge is that the level of the water, pull out the fridge. Then the seat in the sitting room, the level. When it's 2 hours, no way for the erosion to go. It will look for where enter the rooms. So there are some houses here whereby their tenant has a car, but they can't park the car. When it starts raining, I have to remove my car down to the main road. In fact, there's one of my car inside. The rain spoiled it, but it flow enter inside the car. When you get to Lukman, car cannot walk in in Lukman. It's only jeep. When it rain, it's only jeep. And our chairman, Mr. Motosho, that man has been trying, to be honest. That man has been trying, spend his own money all the time to park that place. So the government should help us and come to her, particularly that Lukuma, so we can have a piece of water here.
Aside the losses caused by the flooding and the consequent threats to commuters and residents in the community, the poorly maintained canals create an uncomfortable environment, putting their health at risk.
In fact, this subject of flood is giving us problem in this area. We have been to Lagos State many times. They are trying their best. They said they are still coming to come and help us to find solution to this problem of drainage. Even this, my friends, this is the third time. This now we have to 1.some PI, because if you erect it, the water staying inside the house for more pump that I use it.
I lost my husband about 8 years ago. It has been on, and we thought here before it would be okay, but unless when they think the road was higher than the level of our house, so the water, the flood, many people in the city used to complain, but there's no any this thing. They will just be promising us. So we thought when they build the gutter, we'll be okay, but not yet. Even the tenants, they don't used to stay. At times they will stay 2 months, they will take their money and go. So that time of COVID, no, it was a hell. But there's nothing I can do. I think my children cannot leave me. They used to feed me and give me some money for the renovation of the house. There was a time the flood entered everywhere. I have to change the tiles, not this thing. Even till now, I'm still paying for the debt of the renovation. We can't even car can't enter. You too can see, can't enter. So all my tenants, they used to stay and go. They've been complaining now. But some of them said there's nothing they can do, because if it's their house, they can't run away. Because of my character to them, because I treat them as my people. I can't be living alone. That is it. I want government to come to our aid now, to rescue us from all this erosion. If there is any rain coming now, we will be praying. We won't have any rest of mind. It's a big problem for us in this area. We are just begging the government to help us on it. There's nothing we can do.
Well, I would say it's pathetic, and it's also unexpected, because I got here 2 weeks after I got here was when I noticed that the area gets this flooded. It's very terrible. When it gets flooded, you can't come out of your house, and you can't even come into your house if you're outside. It's not a thing of using a rain boot. A rain boot doesn't solve the problem. It gets to your lap level. That was what I experienced, and it just rained for like 2.5 hours that day, and it was that bad. So you can imagine if it rains for 3 days consistently, it's going to be really terrible. And, like I said to someone, I was going to leave. I went to the landlord and told him that I want to leave because I wasn't prepared to cope with this kind of issue. But when I was told that the government have come to look at the area and they're planning to do something about it, I said, okay, let me wait. But up till now, I'm yet to see the presence of the government, and people are leaving this area. A lot of houses are empty because of flood. Like this one you see here, the owner has left. Nobody's living there because of the flood. So, and if people keep moving like that from this place to a particular place where they don't experience flood, the place becomes densely populated, and it's going to be a problem for the government. That's the reason why they need to treat things like this, so that we can have people spread to areas like this. And if this kind of thing continues, it becomes a health hazard. It will create room for many problems, and like I advocate for psychological well-being, this is part of what causes psychological distress for people.
Chairman of the Landlord Association described the disheartening reality where residents must vacate their homes during the rainy season, returning only when the rain permits them to. The Landlord Association of the community says numerous appeals have been made to the Lagos state government to help the community before it's completely abandoned.
Flood. For the past 2 decades now, 20 years, we've been feeling this flood problem. And every year, in and out, it's getting worse and worse. Yes, the government of Lagos State have been trying their effort. But unfortunately, like Yoruba always say, Tino Baton Lori, Tino Baton Lasho, Ejakinto Le Kono. So, but we are still hopeful that the Lagos State government needs to come to our rescue to elevate this perennial flood that's ravaging our community. Personally, we've been donating money. Physically, we've been clearing the available drainage. We've been writing to the various governments that are in charge of drainage. The ministry, director of drainage, promise upon promising. And every year are good enough that the rain has not started heavily. And even the rain has been at its peak. Where we are standing now, this is almost Short Street. Yes, in Amdi Ojokoro. We will not be able to stand where we are now. With the rain that fell last night, we will not be able to stand as we are standing here. But glory be to God, the rain was just a minimum. In fairness, 75% of the residents in this area has no tenant because the netter they have moved out of the premises because of the flood that's affecting the property. In fact, the beginning of the year, we have the rain that fell around March, February 20, especially. There are some fences that have to collapse because of the flood. So for now, most of the residents here are vacant. But glory be to God, like we always say, so we, the owner, where do you expect to go? We have to remain and start facing, hopefully or hoping that soon the government will come to our rescue.
In an effort to mitigate flooding in the area, committee members usually work together to clear the drainage and allow water to flow. But they say until the problem is permanently addressed, tragedies occasioned by flooding may continue to be an annual occurrence in the community.
Well, you just heard it from the Resident and Landlord Association of the New Okoba community. What they are going through. We hope the state government takes steps to resolve their plights. Now, still on the issue of bad roads in Lagos, But this time around, we are looking at a suburb that has been grappling with the same issues of poor drainage system due to a link bridge built by the state government that connects Ayobo to Barua as well as Igando. This improper drainage system has caused flooding whenever it rains, just as it is raining at the moment. Now, most inner roads in that area have collapsed and have become a death trap for commuters and residents in that community, making that road not motorable. Well, let's hear what they have to say about the poor state of roads in their community.
Olorujube Community Development Area, Kandos, is a suburb in Ayobo Ipaja under Alimusha local government area, where most inner roads have become a death trap and no longer motorable. As calm as this community is, with beautiful houses and schools, the road in the area are at deplorable conditions. The residents say at the heart of the problem is a link bridge built by the state government, which does not have a proper drainage system.
The governor of the Lagos State, His Excellency Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has really tried for us, especially in our community, and I can say with confirmation that he's one of the best governors we've ever had in Lagos State. The newly constructed bridge that linked from Idowegba down to our community has just been constructed, and that bridge has been in existence years without number. So kudos to our governor of Lagos State, and now we are bringing knowledge of the governor to get to know exactly the purpose of that bridge. The bridge link is very easy for us to link from that bridge down to Ayobo, Ogun State, Ishefun, Isheri, and so on. But the street Kainde Bakari, the street is not motorable again. And that one will now affect the purpose of the bridge being created to this community. So we are begging our governor to help us and do something about the road, because it has really affected our community a lot. Palliatively, the community has done a lot, even more than a lot. It's even affecting the pocket of the community, because we do not have any money again. All the one we are able to generate within the community, we spent it on the road. Lastly, along that Kainde Bakari Street, we just spent about 1.8 million that road, and the flood is so high, it's so heavy. If you can see the heavy of that flood, it has washed up everything that we did. So that's why we are begging our able governor now to come to our rescue. It's more than 10 years now. Series of letters has been written to the chairman of the local government, Ayobo Ipaja, and also to the Lagos State government, and we are very sure they are coming to our aid to help us, because we have a very good response from them. So and I know very soon, anytime from now, they will come to our rescue.
I want to speak as a mother in this community that this flood is really damaging our area, affecting our children. Our children cannot go to school when it rains. In fact, we are suffering a lot. When it rains, the children cannot go to school. When it rains in the evening, we cannot sleep. We find it difficult to sleep when it is raining, because the flood from the new road channel to us is really affecting us. Please, we are calling on the state government. We know that he's able to do all things. We depend on him because he is the only person we have that can help us. Please kindly help us, come to our aid, so that we will sleep when it is raining.
Most of the buildings in the community have been abandoned due to lack of accessible roads.
They constructed the road all the way from Barowa inside down to Tokumbo, but there's a mistake, however. Instead of channeling the water and emptying it into canal, they stop at that Tokumbo, meaning that the flood now enters into our community through St. Michael, Bakare, then into many streets we have in the Olorunjube community. And this has done a lot of damages. And almost we are afraid the thing can carry house, can carry fence, can even take somebody or human being. So we are pleading on the Lagos State government, though we are not Oliver Twist, but we continue to talk to them, beg them as far as they are. I don't think they will hear bad story from this area because it is still part of Lagos State. We are pleading with them, thanking them for the one they have done, and we are pleading with them to come to our rescue before the thing gets. It is affecting tenants because when they come to this area, they will see fine buildings, beautiful houses, but no accessible road. So all they will tell you that they will not live in this kind of environment. So it is affecting us. Even a good number of landlords, we are not talking about landlords now, are abandoning their houses. How much less the tenants. So they find elsewhere, and it's affecting us.
The road is very important, very, very important. It affects everything in the community. I know some of my neighbors.
The morning of March 12, 2021. Chaos at the Federal College of Forestry Mechanization in Mando area of Kaduna State, northwest Nigeria. The night before, armed gunmen popularly known as bandits had stormed the tertiary institution, abducting 39 students. After initially releasing the students in batches, the bandits eventually released all the students on May 5, 2021. They spent 55 days in captivity. It's been over 2 years now since that incident happened, but the school has not remained the same again. Some of the affected students did not return to the school. Many have now abandoned the hostel.
To some of us who have opportunity to interact with the bandits during the process of negotiation for the release of our children.
Friday, Sani's daughters were among the 39 abducted students back in 2021. He says even though one of them has come back to the school to complete her studies, she's yet to recover from the traumatic experience.
She came back one day and told me that, Dad, we got a news that spies came and they learned there are those that spy for bandits to the school to come and spy the environment and see if there are area they can pass through to take students. So the first thing, I was in Abuja when she called me. I now quickly told her, please go back home and be coming from home to the school for the meantime. And out of fear, I started sorting for off-campus until something dawned on me that there is need for me to look for the advice of the management of the school. When I got there, they told me that there won't be any reason for me to fear, that I should allow her to return to the hostel. There are staffs living in the quarters there, and the hostel is just very close to staff quarters and all of that. So I came back, telling her to return to the hostel. It was a battle. I said, Daddy, I know what I'm going through. If anybody just managed to knock my door, I jump from bed. So that I now told her, okay, what you do, this is the school, this is where your counselor is. Always meet your counselor for more counseling processes and other things. And at the end of the day, she's okay. And in few, maybe by next year, she'll be graduating. Now, the fear in educational institutions generally is that we don't know when this will stop, though it's minimal now. As at the 2021, it was high. It's minimal now, but nobody knows the next dimension that they may come. That is just the truth about it.
Just as the country was coming to terms with the brazen attack on the College of Forestry, another attack happened at Greenville University, a private university also in Kaduna State. Armed bandits attacked the school on the night of April 20th, 2021, abducting at least 20 students. 3 of the students would later be killed before the bandits freed others months later after collecting ransom payments. Today, the school is like a ghost village, completely deserted. The institution has now relocated to a temporary campus in the city. It's difficult to tell when academic activities will resume at the permanent site here.
So now, insecurity has forced children and parents in the first place not to even allow their children to go to schools that are not secured. Insecurity has also put fear in the minds of the children that even if they are allowed to go, they don't know what is going to happen. So sometimes they just look for some flimsy excuse and don't go. Then insecurity have successfully shut down schools in many villages. And you know, like the Chibok girls who were about to write exams and the evil people came. Now these ones, it is not even about exams. The school have been shut down. Some have relocated to nearby places, but only children of serious-minded parents. But the larger population, it's like, okay, you've helped us, not going to school. The only challenge they are facing now is that, okay, there is no school and there's no farm also. Because as schools are shut down due to insecurity, people cannot also go to farm due to insecurity. And then hunger is hitting them at home and is forcing them to go into so many things that you cannot even imagine.
Scared of coming under attacks as well, some other schools in remote locations in Kaduna, like this one known as Faith Academy, have shut down and moved their students, leaving behind massive edifices.
And one will wonder why the students become the target of banditry and kidnapping in Nigeria. And that also is now weakening the educational standards, is now discouraging people. A situation where you get admission, you are now afraid of going to the hostel. Rather, you have to look for house around that institution or around the institution. Then, by that, coming from the house to the school also is even a problem because you have to be looking left and right, not knowing who is the next person to you. These are issues, these are challenges that we are having. Entering vehicle to travel to Bandogri for maybe studies, or maybe going to Adamawa, going to Zamfara, so going to Sokoto is now becoming a problem in the nation. So the only thing that we see also parents doing is to look for an institution close to them, whereby they can just maybe, while going out in the morning, they will drop their child and return the same child. And you know that a child that is not within the school premises may lack concentration, and by that, it may not come out well as expected. So these are challenges that we are facing, or the education is facing in Nigeria now, that students no longer have confidence, unlike before, where you will send your child to a school far away from you, and you sleep with your two eyes closed that he or she is secured. It's no longer like that. So these are the challenges that we have in the educational sector now, and it's not helping us.
Bethel Baptist High School, also in Kaduna State, is now one big deserted community. On the night of July 5th, 2021, several gunmen invaded the school and kidnapped 121, taking them into the forest. It would take several months and millions of naira in ransom payment before the bandits would release the students. The last student in captivity only just got freed November 2nd, 2023, 2 years and 4 months after the mass abduction. But since that incident, the school has been abandoned. The management now uses a temporary location for the school.
You needed to see this place before now, okay, or maybe before the incident that happened on the 5th of July 2021. This place was so clean, so tidy, so a very serene environment for one to be. But now you can see how it has become so bushy that a lot of the places had to be converted to farms to reduce the bush. You've gone around, you've seen the football pitch, how it has been converted to a farmland. The all other courts have been converted to farmlands. All these are just to make sure that the place is maintained to reduce the bush. It has affected education, particularly the school. A lot of money was spent that we cannot actually say the amount that was given to the bandits, how the staff also suffered, how everyone, in fact, most of the students, some of them didn't come back again. They went to schools, not that were not actually their first choice. Some, I cannot say whether some out will finally become dropouts or whatever. For let's say, example, one of the students that has not yet come back, what do you think happened to his education? He does not continue with education. Now he can be classified under dropout. So that's part of the effects. Security has become so devastating in our nation that education is receiving its own quota of the effects of this insecurity.
Welcome back to the newsroom. Joy Uchejim. The headlines for tracking at the Nigerian force has in Kukachidi camp, Paskari local government area of Katsina State. The operation targeted the criminal group affiliated with notorious terrorist kingpin Yusuf Yellow and his close associate Rambe Imani. Over 45 motorcycles were also destroyed during the airstrikes. Spokesperson returned to his palace. And spoke incident different religion. He said unfortunately he was bullied within the vicinity of Festival Primary School and Zage Zango areas by 25 persons. And chairman of the Tripartite Committee on National Minimum Wage, Buka Goniaji, Congress to consider
To have you join us on another episode of the program. I am Okpayemi Owosheni. We start off with business news. The Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms has proposed that the cost of tax collection by government agencies be reduced to 1%. Chairman of the committee, Taiwo Oyedele, disclosed this during the exposure and impact assessment session held for journalists in Abuja. According to Oyedele, Nigeria's tax collection cost is as high as 35% in some states. Oyedele also said there are plans to restructure the Federal Inland Revenue Service and rename it to Nigerian Revenue Service. Speaking to TV360 Nigeria, here's what Oyedele had to say.
We want to support this very important segment of our economy to be able to grow. They contribute a lot to our employment, to our GDP, but they struggle. Many of them don't survive before, so they set businesses, they also go down. And it's accountable for many of those reasons. Reason for our proposal. And the good thing is, foreign tax regulation, it has been signed by the minister. So this is not something that by law empowers the finance minister to sign the regulation.
A break now and be back with corporate stories. Welcome back. The Nigerian Deposit Corporation (NDIC) settlement of deposit at the end of the week. The Nigerian NDIC Bello has discussed in the previous validation in Abuja on 6th of June. The Heritage Bank Vocation Nigeria as bank deposit at Heritage Bank starts at 650 billion naira, while its portfolio stands over 1 billion being verified for onward payment of insured benefit of about 5 billion naira will be paid. We'll go on a break now, but when Money Matter returns, we'll be discussing the IMF's latest report on Nigeria's lands shoot by $1.43 billion. I'll bring you details this and more after the short break. Welcome back. Nigeria's current account balance has experienced a surplus of $1.432 billion in 2024, and this according to a report by the International Monetary Fund (IMF). The report, titled World Economic Outlook Database, noted that the increase in the federal government account for the period was an improvement from the $1 billion surplus recorded in 2023. The improvement was attributed to the country's gross national savings and investment. Now, in 2024, Nigeria's gross national savings increased to 26.32% of gross domestic product, from 26.1% to the 24.28% in 2023. That's according to the IMF's report. A country's current balance represents the combined total of the balance, net income, direct transfers, and